Hey y'all, it's your host Davion. Welcome to another episode of Consciouztv. Make sure you rate, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Hit all when you do so that you can keep up with all of my latest uploads. You can also donate to the show at my Cash App, $Consciouztv, or my PayPal at paypal.me/Consciouztv. And you can email me at consciouztv@gmail.com. All this information will be in the description box below. Now, girl, before we get into this discussion, let me shout out some of my recent show contributors. You guys know I don't do super chat, so when I do uploads, I do shout out those who put a little coin into the collection plate out of appreciation and love for the content and the content creator. Voila, me. I want to shout out my boo Nicole, aka Tracy. I got you a donation, boo. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the love and thank you for supporting me. And I hope you continue to enjoy and support the channel. God bless you, sugar. Now, girl, y'all heard about Miss Andrew Caldwell hot telling it down. I-77, faster than Michelle Brown's Uber Eats driver. Girl, mother done fucked around and got into a whole cat fight with a whole man who snatched her out of her vehicle so fast, her titties and belly became dislodged mid-air before landing on her head and getting up from a temporary lapse in consciousness to throw one of them hard Pentecostal church shoes through the passenger window of her stalker's vehicle. Now, people are for good reason challenging Sister Caldwell's credibility and speculating about the obvious holes in her story. Some people, despite Mother Caldwell's proclamation of innocence, believes mother was out fishing for dope-dealing delinquent dick and either came on to a suspecting heterosexual man who wanted to whoop Andrew's ass for propositioning him, or had offered will and trade a payment of $75 and some Nike tube socks for letting him hit the dick, only for Andrew to get up off his knees afterwards and hot tail it out of the alleyway, leaving him in trade to be in a hot speed chase through downtown Chicago, where things led to Andrew having a busted lip, a damaged rental, both his natural breasts exposed, and in handcuffs with no suspect in sight. Now, because Andrew is such a fool, I can see Trade chasing him down the highway and shooting at Andrew's tires, causing Andrew to make a quick right off the ramp, where he crashed on the side of the road and got monkey stomped up and down the hospital parking lot for fucking with that man's Saturday night hustle. Now, before we get into the craziness of the story, girl, can we talk about Sister Caldwell's mugshot? Cha! Who told mother she was Cisco? This baby dyed his hair not blonde, not honey blonde, not a golden bronze blonde, but dyed her hair a Waffle House yellow. I mean, she had a whole corn on the cob yellow dye job in her head. What kind of yellow is that? A yak yellow? Mucus yellow? Girl, mother looked like an overweight Asian midget in that mugshot. I thought that hoe worked in the kitchen of Hubaches or some shit. Girl, I said, let me find out I can put my order in for 6 honey mustard wings, a large shrimp fried rice, and a medium sweet tea to Andrew Chan, girl. Miss Caldwell recalled a heroin account in which she was followed from where she was by a male who was at the original location with her, and that after she realized she had been followed all the way down the highway by this guy, she decided to get off on the exit and stop her vehicle so that she could confront her stalker, which was the dumbest, most dangerous shit I've ever heard, and that before she could exchange her grinder location with Trade had started whopping her all upside her motherfucking head and snatched her and all 5 of her titties straight through the driver's window, where the stalker proceeded to get in the vehicle himself, and that during this time, Andrew was running around titty and belly free at this point, got a brick off the raggedy roads of Chicago, which are essentially dirt roads, and managed to bust the boy's windows out. They scuffled for some time, police were called, and just when Miss Andrew Caldwell thought she had successfully manufactured a story worth getting her some viral visibility, her toe tag was ran in the database, and Miss Caldwell was the one booked and busy down to the local Chicago precinct for outstanding warrants, unpaid traffic tickets, and numerous failures to appear in court. Now, Miss Caldwell has went on a whirlwind of damage control, cussing out all the blogs and bloggers who are reporting anything less than Miss Caldwell's side of events and affirming her innocence in the whole matter. Now, I ain't no investigator nor forensic scientist, but the first cause for a mean-ass side-eye to Andrew's story is, why would you pull over to confront someone who's following you in the dead of the night, especially when you already have a history of being punched, whooped, dragged, slapped, drop-kicked, and having cups of urine thrown in your face by perfect strangers in public? What did you think was going to happen after you pulled over? He was going to come over and hand you his ID, be honest about why he was following you to begin with, and give you a gas voucher, a breath mint, and a Jehovah's Witness pamphlet? Huh, sugar? Exactly what did you think was going to happen? Now, let's say you was feeling bad and bougie and wanted to prove to yourself that you were an independent black woman who don't need a man by your side to handle your own in the cold, salvage streets of Chicago. Why would you then pull over into the parking lot of a hospital to confront this man in, unless you wanted there to be minimal distance between you and the surgery table in case this man whipped your hairline back into place? Because you actually could have driven to a police station and pulled over there if you had any cleverness. Matter of fact, You could have Googled the nearest police station, called them, and told them someone is following you, and you're requesting officers to already be positioned outside because you're going to have this person follow you right into the parking lot. And not only could you have gotten to safety, had this man arrested or at least shook by your willingness to take being stalked and harassed seriously, but you also could have still wangled the story around once it broke and exaggerated it and made it sound exciting so you could have extended your 15 minutes, which was over 14 minutes ago. Now, once your dumbass decided to pull over and confront a so-called stalker stranger in the middle of the night in the hospital parking lot, once he snatched your pussy meat out of the vehicle, why the hell didn't you start flapping those titties like wings and flew your ass into the hospital for help? Instead, you thought it was logical to provoke someone who was already attacking and robbing you allegedly by taking time to bust the windows out of his car? Now, Drew, this is how I know you slow, but let me talk to the fast side of your brain, daughter. White woman 101. You gets to hollering and screaming to the top of your motherfucking lungs that you're a white woman being raped by a big black dick on the west side of the building if you're wanting to ring the town's bell for help. Then once this fool got into your car, instead of damaging his, you should have gotten into that motherfucker and drove your ass to safety like Rebecca Huffenberry would have done with her classy, wealthy, 2 dogs and a fiance at home to live for ass. But here you go fighting a damn empty car like it's your credit score, girl. Now, you claim you were being robbed, but you fucked up and told us you were being followed by a thief in his own vehicle. So if he already got a vehicle, why the fuck would he chase you down for yours while leaving his behind to be fingerprinted and dusted for evidence like it would be, which would only happen on an episode of the world's dumbest goddamn criminals? And if there's any city whose criminals have mastery over their craft, it's Chicago's criminals, baby. Now look here. I don't really give a damn what actually happened because the fuckery is more entertaining than the truth, even though the truth is just as comical because it involves Andrew Caldwell, and that's never going to fail at producing hysteria. Now, there's a mixed audience regarding this controversy who's laughing at Andrew and one crowd who's being sympathetic toward the young attention-crave whore. And me, I'm indifferent. Now, what I will say to those who are criticizing the blogs and bloggers who are delivering Andrew's incident as a laughing matter, to be reminded that Andrew Caldwell's brand is about making his life and himself a caricature of a flamboyant heterosexual divo, honey boo-boo child. He's openly put himself in the line of fire and manufactured controversy just for the sake of clicks and views, just as the humiliation he put Cordell Stewart through, who has to live the rest of his natural-born life having Andrew Caldwell be a added addition to his sex partner count anytime he wants to shoot the shits with the boys at the local pool hall about all the bad bitches he smashed in his career along with Andrew Caldwell, allegedly. And that's enough for Andrew to go to hell over alone, because who the hell wants Andrew Caldwell coming up in their smash and dash index? Huh? Who? Niggas would be more willing to admit they slept with Markeith Rivers, the download detective, than to admit to sleeping with Andrew Caldwell. I mean, nobody would even accidentally imagine themselves sleeping with this spitting, baffling fool. Andrew has claimed to have been on the payroll of many well-known yet undisclosed black pastors and preachers in the church, not to mention put out the lie about Cordell during Portia Williams' marriage to Cordell Stewart, meaning that he also is willing to sleep with married men. Yet you want Andrew Caldwell, a known and willing court jester, to be taken seriously by people he's programmed and conditioned to laugh at and be entertained by him? Bitch, you gotta make it make motherfucking sense. Asking someone to empathize with Andrew Caldwell, who has thrown everyone he's remotely had a smidget of a friendship with, from T.S. Madison to Michelle Brown, under the bus, not to mention that Missy C almost slapped Andrew's ass with the full force of faggotry at the Motel 6 way back when. Girl! Mariah Carey said on her Charm Bracelet album that nobody cares when the tears of a clown fall down. And nobody does, baby. In life, you either get to be the person everybody laughing at or the person who's doing the laughing, honey. And Andrew's solidarity in pop culture as a struggling hot mess homosexual has typecasted him in the genre of comedy for the rest of his life. Meaning that even if he goes into hiding from here on out, I am delivered is etched into our brains, just like the smell of burning wood is etched into the gums of Kaya's mouth. Now, to those who are laughing at what could have been Andrew's last big acting role, y'all are all the problem as well. Because though this young man is willing to walk off a cliff just to warrant your criticism and attention, it doesn't mean it's okay to give someone that dangerous the attention they're looking for. Because we see this need for attention is turning dark and deadly, and Chicago ends up in the news daily, so there ain't gonna be too many more articles published that won't eventually have Andrew's name in the headlines. It's okay to laugh if that's what you want to do, and even though channels like the Usher Board and Heathen Central exploit and capitalize off of Andrew's mental issues and clout-chasing antics, I almost prefer the lesser of those two evils, because both of those audiences are at least intentional about not giving Andrew himself a direct click, like, or view, and would rather go to alternative sites that showcase the mess without supporting the fool behind the mess directly, and I think that's a decent compromise. If everyone stopped following and tuning into this boy's direct platform, where would Andrew be, and what would he do? He'd go back into obscurity like he was before his infamous mic grab where he belongs, because between the egotism that's growing from being rewarded for his bad behavior and the amount of trolls who are growing more aggravated by this boy's lies, slander, and mockery who are willing to hunt and hurt him, things would not end up well for America's favorite hated person. And if any of you have a heart and decency in that soul of yours, you'd stop supporting him directly for his benefit. And if you still want to get your rocks off to the messy life of Andrew Caldwell, there's 2 channels, as I mentioned, that you can go to and subscribe to laugh behind closed doors at. Andrew Caldwell isn't as dumb as people think he is. He plays up the foolishness because he enjoys the attention and backlash from his stupidity. But Andrew Caldwell also isn't as sane and healthy-minded as some may think either, because there are some real-life marbles and screws loose in that child's brain. And you can tell by his speech, his diction, his manic behavior, and those Down syndrome facial expressions he makes when he's carefully and stressfully reading the comments in his live video. The boy always looks like he's watching a horror film when he's reading his own comment section. To Andrew Caldwell, sit your ass down. At this point, you have enough viral notoriety to create something for yourself that doesn't involve you being front and center. You started a little thrift store online that you call a boutique. I think that's a step in the right direction. I think you should think more entrepreneurial about your social media status and get with some really good business-minded persons who can help you turn your visibility into major equity. When you hear the name Bill Gates, you don't think of his personality nor his mess. You think of his products. The same with Gucci and Donatella Versace. It's time to put on big girl pampers now and transcend being a display in a town's wax museum and to finally own the museum itself. Everyone has a part to play in this foolishness, especially with Andrew not having all the mental faculties needed for him to make healthy choices for himself, leaving more of the blood to be on the hands of his supporters than his own hands if anything was to happen to him. We cannot knowingly have mentally delayed people amongst us and hold them to the same expectation of someone who's healthy-minded. That simply is not intelligent and it's negligent. Not only has the Cogic Church created the mess, but the world audience has fanned the flames of this wild pot-belly fire ever since. So everyone is to be accountable in the matter, and to all of you who think it's okay to harass and assault this boy just because you don't like him, bitch, click off if you ever that pressed. Because no matter how much you don't like and disagree with one person, you don't ever have a license to bring harm to anyone. Just like Andrew has the choice to embarrass himself on national internet, you have the choice to not watch him do it on national internet. And you better be glad you pulled up on Andrew Caldwell, because let you, your children, and or your grandpa think he gonna chase me down the hill. I'm shooting soon as I see y'all asses pull up close enough. So you better warn your deranged ass relatives who be talking that shit about what they'll do to people, and remind them that people can do it to their asses too. You better consult the cemetery, because it's filled with people who thought they were about to hurt somebody, and then...
Boy, now what's the issue? You gonna make me get with you. You won't talk that girly talk, bitch. You can talk to my pistol.
Boom, bitch. So that wraps up my commentary. The story is wacky and filled with hilarity, while also possessing enough danger for concern over where Andrew's management of his own life is leading him. Is it on a path to death and destruction, or wealth and fame? Let's hope the latter. I'm out. Make sure you rate, comment, share, and subscribe. Also hit that notification bell. All donation information is on the screen, and I'll check you guys out later.